You're working on blockchain technology. Could you give us a few examples of this?
So a few examples. Here in Moldova, I've set up, I think, the first business in blockchain. This was back in 2017. It's actually an exchange platform, e-wallet platform. But the actual focus is to use the laws of the Republic of Moldova for cooperatives to streamline them, make them digital, make cooperatives for agricultural projects, for example, digitization of wine, it could be sports, it could be an association, credit union, it could be many areas in style of areas, but all of these projects need to attract outside investment. Now, cooperatives, there is 3 million cooperatives around the world. There's 1.2 billion members of cooperatives. So when you take this into consideration, there's 7 billion population. People don't realise they are part of a cooperative. So it's something which they understand.
About 20% of the world population.
Yeah. So in the case of cooperatives, you can own shares, you can have voting rights. That provides a good e-governance. So if you can streamline this, and it could be a real estate project, it could be a sports project, you can attract outside investment, and those people can trade and move to another project if they like another project very fast. So if you take into consideration the paper trail which is needed at the moment in the existing way, you have to send in your documents to say, yes, I want to sell my shares, somebody else has to send in to buy. So that could take a long, long time. In this case, it's tamper-proof, immutable, and there's a certain set of amount of shares, and it's traceable on the blockchain. Another area, so that's just one part. Another area is what we're working on is SubSudio, and SubSudio is a new search engine.
So what about this engine?
So our focus is to, because Google keeps changing all the ratings on how you get listed in the search engine, you have to spend a lot of money on Google Ads. So for example, you could have been for many years number 2 or number 3 on first page of Google, and in many cases now those websites are maybe on page 16 because of the way Google has changed its analytics, etc. So our view is to create a new search engine using tokenization to reward people. You can register your business. So as you register, if you're the first person to register, you're at the top. So if you register second, you're at the second. You're paying a fee to join. But we're also paying people to refer businesses to join the search engine because we're not doing certain elements. But we're also rewarding people for using the search engine, because not everybody wants to have. That will be coming out. We'll be coming public with that in 2020. In the first quarter.
1st January?
No, not 1st January. Somewhere in the first quarter.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, with the exchange and the cooperatives, it's a very logical scenario, and we've called it CiviliXation. So civilizations, like the game, but instead of the Z, you make an X, because really civilizations are changing with technology. So it's called CiviliXation.
But what do you think about Moldovan mentality? Usually Moldovan people don't like to be in cooperatives. They want to own something to be their own property.
In many cases, if you're let's say you're a group of farmers and you're working together exporting grain or cereals. Very good example is there is already existing groups of farmers working with an exporter. The grain gets shipped out and they have a cash fluidity problem. They have a liquidity problem because they have to wait a certain amount of months to be paid from the end customer. So many farmers, for example, will sell their grain for less, a much lower price, so because they want the fast cash. If you take the cooperative structure, you can bring in outside investors to join this cooperative, and they can put liquidity on the table, so there is the cash supply to keep the farmers rotating, and they can still sell at the higher price and make more money than they did before. And at the same time, they can expand, and there's a legal framework. So it's based on what you want to do as a community. That is what cooperatives are. But you can do it as a tech company for an app, but everyone has a shared ownership. Yeah, it could be, I live in a rural village, but we have no Wi-Fi, very bad internet signal, mobile signal. So as a community, we can pitch in and make our own antennas, which we own as a cooperative. So it depends on, it's not about not trusting, it's about the vision and what problem you want to solve and what is the easiest legal framework.
So let's say if there are reasons to be in cooperative, Moldovan people will join.
That would be the case, yes. In many cases, people want to do things. They need to also attract investment. There's lots of real estate projects, there's agricultural,
yeah, it's a big
there's
problem
tourism.
for Moldova.
So attracting the investment is the hard part.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to streamline it to enable people to come in, also to move to other projects in and around projects. But they also need to have a sense of a community because they're trusting in you to deliver that side. But with the blockchain, you are agreeing, I'm part of this community. The laws already exist, but they're not made for digital cooperatives, they're made for physical cooperatives, but you have all the baselines to work from. So in theory, it's just a few adjustments to the law to support digital.